In this video, we're going to do some vector calculations, and these are similar to some of the calculations you'll see on the homework. And so I'm going to go ahead and do these. You might actually be able to figure out how to do these. So if you want, you can pause the video and try these, or try a couple of them and see how you do, and then you can start the video back up and see how you've done on them. But I'm just going to work through each one of these here. So we got u, v, and w, and so this is 6v plus 5u. So the 6 and the 5 are scalars, so I would get 6 times v, which is 4, 7, plus 5 times u, which is 5, negative 2. And so now I'm going to multiply through by the scalar. So this would be negative 24, 42, plus this would be 25, and negative 10. And so then now I can add the two vectors, and I would get 1 and then 32. And then that would be the result of this particular calculation here. So let's try this next one. So this is v minus u plus 3w. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do what's in parentheses first. So notice at this point you could do things like, like the associative property or things like that. Actually, you want to be careful because this is subtraction. But you would want to be careful. Let me not say that. I would just go ahead and do like an order of operations where you always do what's in parentheses first. Okay, so v is negative 4, 7, and then I'm going to subtract, and then u is 5, negative 2, and then I'm going to add 3 times w, which is negative 1, negative 3. Okay, so now I better do here, make sure I have enough room. So this will be negative 4, 7, minus, and then I'm going to do the scalar multiplication. So this would be 5, negative 2, and then this would be plus, this would be negative 3 and negative 9. And then here I would get, I'm going to do what's in parentheses here, negative 4, 7, minus, and then I got 2, positive 2, negative 11. And now I can just subtract these two vectors. And what I would do is I would distribute the negative and then combine with addition. So this is like negative 4, and then negative 2 would be negative 6, and then 7 and a positive 11 would be 18. And that would be that vector. Okay, so now for this one, notice we're going to find out the inside here, but then I'm going to be taking the magnitude of the result of the resulting vector. So this absolute value here is magnitude. And so what I get here is magnitude of 3, and then I would have w here, negative 1, negative 3, minus v, which is negative 4, 7. Okay, and now I would do magnitude of negative 3, negative 9, minus, this would be negative 4, 7. And then I would subtract these vectors, so magnitude of, so negative 3 minus and negative 4, so that would be negative 3 plus 4, which is 1, and negative 9 minus 7, so negative 9 plus a negative 7 makes that negative 16. Okay, and now what I got to do is I got to take the magnitude of that vector. So it's basically just 1 squared plus negative 16 squared. And I think 16 squared is 252. Let me just make sure. Or 256, yeah. See, for some reason 252 didn't sound right. So this is 1 plus 256. So this is like the square root of 257. And that would be the answer. So notice that the answer to this is a scalar, not a vector. Okay, in these, the answers were vectors. So this was the answer to the first one. This was the answer to the second one. And this is the answer to the third one. And this is not a vector, it's a scalar, because I took the magnitude here. Notice here I'm going to be finding these two, and then taking the magnitude of those, and then I'm going to be subtracting the magnitudes. So again, I'm going to get a number here. So this is magnitude of 5 times 5, negative 2. And then I take minus, and this would be negative 4, 7. Plus 2 times w is negative 1, negative 3. And I'm going to be doing the magnitude of that. Okay, so now this would be the magnitude of 25, negative 10. And then I'm going to subtract the magnitude of, this is negative 4, 7, plus negative 2, negative 6. Okay, and so I'll just go ahead and write this again. 25, negative 10, the magnitude of that vector, minus the magnitude of this vector. So negative 4 plus negative 2 is negative 6, and then 7 plus negative 6 is positive 1. And so now what I got to do is I got to take the magnitude of those two vectors, and I'm going to get square root of 25 squared plus negative 10 squared minus the square root of negative 6 squared plus 1 squared. So 25 squared, I think, is 625. And then 10 squared is 100. So this is like square root of 750. And this would be minus the square root of 37. And this is like the exact value. And if you wanted to know like a decimal approximation, you could take find the square root of these and subtract them, and it's like approximately 20.8. Okay, but it's the difference here of two scalars, and you get a scalar at the end. One thing to excuse me, sorry about that. One thing to notice here, what you can't do is you can't, and maybe I'll write this on the back, have something like 5u like this plus w. Okay, because this is a scalar and this is a vector, and there's no operation where you can add a scalar and a vector. It would have to be something like this times w. Then you could do it, because then you would get a scalar and you can multiply it by w. So this is not possible. This would be possible. Okay. So those are just some vector calculations, and you'll have several of those to do on the homework. I think you'll like those. Those are just kind of little puzzles to solve. So have fun with that.